So, do you expect the composition of the linebacking core to change a great deal when the influx of new guys come in?
Yeah, immensely. With what we got now, some young guys that were redshirted last year, and then what we got coming in, it's a whole different dynamic. They're young, and we've got to make sure we do a good job of coaching them up and getting them ready. But that whole room is different. And really, with 40, whatever we have, 43, 44 new guys, the whole locker room's going to change too.
So with young guys, assuming that they have the talent that you believe that they have, there's going to be some good that comes with that, but there will also be some bad, some
Right.
freshman mistakes and so forth. Are you willing to just kind of live with that and hope that they
Yeah,
build off
not
of it?
really live with it. You got to minimize a little bit, but we don't, as I said, we don't want talent watching from the sidelines because they don't know what to do. That's what falls back on us as coaches. So we've got to make the scheme simple enough that the young guys can help us, but yet still have enough variety that teams just don't know, here we are and come get us. So I like the attitude of the guys that we have now. I think the new guys coming in will have to grow up in a hurry and be ready to play.
How much do you stay up with those guys that are kind of coming in and making sure they're doing everything right?
A little bit. It's really the position coach, their position coach, and I got a great off-field staff doing a super job. Make sure they got things squared away admission-wise, and making sure that they're still working out and following a conditioning program, a running program. And then when they get here in the summer, the good part is now we can check on them in the summer, whereas in the past we really couldn't do anything with them.
Right. Your linebacking core last year didn't have a ton of pass breakups or interceptions. I know some of that is because they were blitzing a lot and sometimes.
Well, we didn't have a lot of anything. No, I mean, we didn't have pass breakups, sacks. We didn't have tackles for losses. We didn't have third down stops. We didn't have a lot of anything on any side. And so we've got to work hard as coaches to put them in good positions. And, then we got to stay healthy there, of course. But I think we're deeper talent-wise than we've been in maybe 3 or 4 years. So hopefully if we have an injury or two, we can withstand that.
So you're going to have more talent, more depth. The guys will be more familiar with the scheme. Is there anything else you can do in practice to kind of create that mentality of getting your hand on the ball?
Yeah, we do it. We make a big deal of it. Anytime a guy puts a hand on the ball, we have managers kind of wave them or towel them off. And but what we have to do is, as much as possible, is put our guys in situational stuff during practice. It's third down in the red zone. It's second and very long. It's they're coming out of 3rd and 10 or something. Put them in a bunch of down and distance situations, and like today, the end of the game kind of a deal. We pick the ball off, get down, don't try to score with it. So there's a lot of situational stuff that we can't assume as coaches that our guys know. That falls back on us.
What do you hope is most different about that group? You mentioned them being different. What do you hope is most different from this group?
Well, I mean, we just got to play better and we got to coach better. But I think more than anything else, not playing so tight. And again, it goes back to us keeping the scheme simple enough where they can just let loose.
So pro day's coming up.
Yeah,
here,
Friday.
On Friday. Paul McClure seems like a guy who's done well in the off-season process. Like he played in the East West Shrine game. What do you think about him as a potential?
Well, he's
pro?
a really good athlete. I was proud because he moved from a natural safety position to linebacker and made some plays for us. I haven't seen him as much as I've seen some of the other guys because he's trained off campus, but I'm sure he's in shape. And it's a big day. I think we've got every team going to be represented here, and I think we got a couple guys that are capable of being drafted, and I know we have several guys that should be in someone's camp.
Sure. Paul, as a safety/linebacker, it seems like the NFL is looking for those types of guys, or maybe those types of guys even fit well in the Pac-12 now, guys who can play in space.
Yeah, and everybody's looking for that fifth, that third corner, that fifth DB that can play in the slot, but be physical enough in the run game, and they're looking for multi-positional players, I guess. Guys. That's why, a guy like Samaje Grant, to me, is going to be a great addition to somebody because he can play every receiver position. He can play running back. He'd be a great special teams player. So I think everybody in the NFL is looking for value, particularly if they're looking at late round picks or free agent guys. And we have several that fit that bill.
I know that you moved Samaje last year kind of out of necessity, but could you see him being almost like a third down back type of
No question.
player?
I think Samaje Grant's an NFL guy. I think, he's got the athletic ability. He's got the toughness, and more than anything, he's got a football awareness, and he can learn multiple positions in a short period of time. So I'm really excited for him. I just saw him. He's been training down here a little bit. He's in great shape, so I think he'll be someone.
Do you think that the problems with the passing game last year hurt the stock of a guy like Trey Griffey or Nate Phillips because they just
No,
didn't
not
get
really,
as many
because
passes as usual?
yeah, well, I mean, they didn't catch as many balls, but the NFL doesn't look at, I think, as much at numbers. They'll watch a guy on film, they'll watch him in person, they'll work him out. So I think the numbers part is probably inflated at some places anyway because they throw it all the time. So I think they just look at guys that can play.
So what are the traits that you would praise in Trey if an NFL scout?
Well,
asked you about him?
Trey's obviously been a great player for us, but he's another guy that can have great value because he can play every special teams. He's a physical guy, got good size, and you can put him on every special team, and he'll be one of the best ones you have there. So he's like Samaji. Those guys are really, really valuable.
Coming off of last year, have you made any tweaks to how you guys approach recruiting?
Well, we're expanding our base recruiting areas. We're going to go into Texas more, which we kind of got out of a little bit just because we didn't have experience recruiting there. So we're still going to do Southern California and, of course, in Arizona as a home base. But we're going to get into Texas quite a bit. The Houston area in particular, a little bit in Dallas, and then still go in Louisiana and Florida and some of those other places. So we've kind of widened our footprint, in particular with the experience that the new coaches that I hired have.
Do you ever temper back trying to kind of load up early on and maybe hold off a little bit longer, or is that hard to do just because it's based on kids?
As far as commitment goes? Yeah, we had more decommitments last year from never, and I think there was a variety of reasons for that. I'm studying why that happened. It was really frustrating, but we're still sticking to the same approach. But I think like every guy that we had took early last year, we'd still take again if we knew they weren't going to decommit. Not all of them decommitted, but you live and learn with certain guys, and I think we got to continue to ask the hard questions about finding the guys that truly love football. Some guys that get caught up in recruiting, it's no fault of their own, but some guys, the recruiting process is more of a game and more important to them than the actual, where they're going to go play school at. We got to make sure we got guys that just are picking the school for the right reason, or are not just enjoying the recruiting process just because they get their name tweeted out more often.